Welcome to Fikra Africa. So we've been hearing a lot on the news about Copedo. Honestly, I'd never heard of that place. I didn't even know where it was. Not only are these pastoralist communities fighting for land for their cattle, there are also farmers on this land where these cattle graze on that land. And not only are they just fighting for water. Then recently, well maybe a few years ago, resources were discovered in Turkana. What does that mean for this community that quite honestly has been ignored by the government and ignored by citizens such as me? So recently a friend of mine called DC Obanda was able to travel to Turkana, and so I would like for her to give us some insight about her trip there and what she learned about the community and the place. Stay tuned. So on the show we have DC, who's a good friend of mine, like I said before, and so I'm really happy that you came today.
I'm really glad that I could make it.
Oh, thank you. So DC Obanda traveled to Turkana. When was it?
About a month ago, from October 5th to 25th, about 20 days.
Okay, and so why were you going there?
I went with a local NGO that have a program, a 2-year program around environmental and human rights in oil and gas. So this was a midterm review, so I went like a consultant with them. When we got there, we stayed in Lodwa for about 3-4 days. Lodwa is like the city, and I feel like with a little more development it could actually be a really beautiful city. Then we went down south to Kainuk, which is the border between Turkana and West Pokot.
Okay.
We stayed there for about 4-5 days, and then we came back up to Lokichar, which is now Oil Central. We stayed in Lokichar for about a week, and then we went back up to Lodwa. I know it's a desert, yes, but the virgin desert is so absolutely beautiful. You want it to stay like that. It has the most beautiful series of hills I have ever seen. Yes, it's quite something. Kainuk is in the border, is a border town south of Turkana, and just beyond it is West Pokot. So you have the Pokots and you have the Turkana. So they have traditionally been fighting over animals, and but traditionally there was like a barometer, like don't kill people, it's just about the animals. But now things have evolved into a place where even as we were traveling down to Kainuk, we ran into a group of about 15-20 boys, not young men, boys. They could be 10, 12, 15, and they were carrying guns, and they were going to hunt the Pokot who had stolen their animals. The reason passed because of this conflict between the Pokot and the Turkana. They don't plant much, and they'll tell you, well, my shamba is not far, it's maybe less than a kilometer away, but I cannot go to my shamba because I will be shot in my shamba. So they are just people that are almost like sitting there waiting to die. They have nothing. And some will tell you, some will even give you names of leaders on, say, on the Pokot side, that provide these guns. And apparently these leaders, this is a source of money for them, because they will get the animals and they will come and sell the animals in Nairobi. Yeah. So for them it's business.
Yeah.
So politics plays, from what I heard, plays a huge role in all of that. And then sadly, in terms of security, the police officers, the APs, then you have Kenya Police Reservists. Kenya Police Reservists are, I think they are trained and they're given arms, but they're not part of the standard Kenya Police. So those are just community members. They're given uniform and arms, but they're not part of the... Now, Turkana is about 77,000 square kilometers. Apparently about 63,000 of it has been earmarked for exploration. So you can imagine how much oil we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And what they say is that it will, the mining or the production of the oil would last for about 25 years. So that's quite a bit of oil. And then they expect to do about, I think, 100,000 barrels of oil a day. And a barrel will be about $80. So you're talking about $8 million a day. Other than oil, they have water, what's called an aquifer, which is an underground rock.
Yeah.
Yes, was discovered, and it appears to have water that will cater for Kenya for about 74 years. That's a lot of water, and that area has, because it's dry, one of the biggest issues has been water. So yeah. Other than water, they have gemstones. Well, the quality is in question, but the fact is they have gemstones. They have rubies, they have yellow and blue sapphire, they have golds. Yes. I was able to see for myself raw and then cut gems, and that was really interesting. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do something like that. And the problem with that is there's no regularized markets. The people will tell you that, people come from Taita, they come from Nairobi, they buy these things at a low price, and then they go and buy them exactly.
Yeah.
The usual middlemen.
Yeah.
There's no proper market for that, but that's something that they actually have. Then we got the opportunity to go up to Lake Turkana, and apparently we spoke to a scientist there, and he says that the capacity for fish is more than Lake Victoria. They can do about, I think, 1 billion metric tons of fish a year. That is a lot of fish. And you even see trucks there that transport fish to DRC. So the people in DRC know and enjoy your fish more than you do.
The Kenyan.
Yes, and apparently a truck is about 4.2 million shillings.
Wow.
So it's good business. So the people around the lake do that. They fish. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
And then I think it has such tourism potential because the lake itself is beautiful. It's jade in color, and you feel if there was a lodge or something around the lake, that would be. I mean, I'd go there all the day.
From what we've heard, there are a lot of issues in Turkana, and also with the resources that are in plenty. But when a community or an area has all these resources and they have problems that they need to solve at first, what is the point of the resources? Especially if they're supposed to trickle down to the community, and a community that's illiterate. How can we tell this community, show and teach this community how education is important, and be able to make sustainable livelihoods, not just for themselves, but for their children, for the future? So we've just heard from DC the problems that are in Turkana, and even with all those problems, they have all these resources, but we need to find solutions to these problems. So where are we going to start? Is it going to be with education in the communities? Is it going to be sustainable livelihoods economically? Or is it going to be tackling insecurity? Those are the solutions that we need to look at. We need to find solutions, not just solutions, but sustainable solutions.